Hey there everybody, it is time to go over the Create Mod Toolbox and all the wonderful things involved with it. So let's get right into it. Now the Toolbox is a storage container. If you right click the Toolbox, you can see it opens up. It's got 8 slots to store stuff in. You can toss it in just like that, and you can even toss in more. It will actually hold up to 256 items in each slot, so that can be super handy. And if you take something out and then you're done using it, you can shift right click it and it'll go right back in. Or you can hit this little button here, return items to Toolbox, and it'll take any item in your inventory and place it back into the Toolbox if it's got a designated slot. As you can see here, this is how you craft the Toolbox. 1 leather, 1 chest, 1 cogwheel, and 2 golden sheets. Not too bad, that'll get you a brown Toolbox. You can also dye the Toolbox any of the 16 colors you want. Here we have a white Toolbox, and if we toss a yellow dye in there, you can see we can craft a yellow Toolbox. Toss a magenta in, now we can craft a magenta Toolbox. And you may notice the crafting recipe is shapeless. You can also take any dye and right click the Toolbox with it, and you can see it dyes the Toolbox and it doesn't even use up the dye. And we can take a quick look at all the different colors of toolboxes. Pretty nice. Now with this Toolbox, you can see it's full of all sorts of dye. Every slot is maxed out. This is the most items a Toolbox can hold. Now say I'm working all the way over here and my Toolbox is all the way over there. Well, I don't want to have to run over there to get the stuff. So when I'm super lazy, I can just press left alt and this really cool UI comes up. And you may recognize this is all the different dyes that are in the box. So I can take some out. I just shift right clicked it. And as you can see, once I did, I got 32 of those dyes in my hand. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, there's a cool little border around the item showing you that that's the item I just picked up. And when I scroll away, you can see that that's a Toolbox item still. Pretty cool. Say I want some green dye. I can pull that out and you can see it took its place because that's the Toolbox slot that I was on. I can also move to another slot and take items out there and there, however I want. Now say I'm done with just this yellow dye. I can press left alt, let it go, and it will put the dye right back into the Toolbox nice and easy. Say I have a whole bunch of stuff from the Toolbox in my inventory. Well, if I hold left alt and go over to this handy button over here, press it, it returns all items back to the Toolbox, and you can see everything's in there nice and neat. Now this is super handy, but it's a little cheaty, right? Never fear, Create Mod thought of that. And there is a limit to how far you can reach the Toolbox, and that's a 10 block radius around the Toolbox. So if you see right here, I've made a bit of a little line. If I press left alt back here, nothing happens. If I go to the line and press it, you can see the Toolbox UI pops up and I can access whatever I want. Here we have a bunch of toolboxes, all with all sorts of different stuff in them, as you can see. Well, what happens if I press left alt in the vicinity of all these toolboxes? As you can see, I get a new UI, a little bit of a wheel that has each of the toolboxes, and I can select a toolbox, pick stuff out of it just like before. So you can have a whole bunch of these toolboxes around you, and it is so much more convenient than the alternative. Now you can see I have items from all the toolboxes in my inventory. Well, I can hit that button over there and send them all back to all their individual spots. Super easy. Couple useful bits of info about the Toolbox. First of all, left alt. If you don't want to use that button, that's no problem. You can change the button in the key config and the options to whatever you like. Secondly, the 10-foot radius around the Toolbox that you can access it from can be adjusted in the config in the Minecraft folder. Also, these toolboxes, they do store their inventory when you pick them up. As you can see, it went right into my inventory. Let's put it over here. Still got everything in it. So don't worry about moving your toolboxes around. They'll keep everything in there for you. Look at how cool this Blaze is. He's got shades. He's ablaze with shades. And I recently made a video all about blazes with shades and all of their secrets. So if you want to see that video, check it out. It's right over there. Pretty useful info. And you've just learned everything you need to know about toolboxes. I hope you picked up something, because these toolboxes are as useful as it comes when dealing with inventory issues. So everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.